Sanbanani, welcome back to our safe space. It's your favorite brown hen, Lungi Gumede, signing in. And so today we'll be talking about, it's a story time, first of all, excuse the background noise if you can hear anything. There's an event by the public pool, and there is music and an MC and speakers, and there isn't anything I can do. And I can't really film on another day because a girl's at college now, a girl is studying. So like Monday to Friday, I'm at college, literally 5 days a week. Obviously, like when I get back home after like 3 p.m, like I don't have strength, I don't have energy, and I have to study. So I just have to film this on a weekend, and today is the day because I want it to be up by tomorrow, which is Sunday, so that I have this week's video up before the week is over, because I'm trying to upload consistently every single week. So please just excuse the background noise. So, right, so let's rewind back to the year 2012. In the year 2012, I was 11 years old. And I went to America, Chicago, Illinois, to be specific, the city of Chicago. I believe it's called the Windy City, if I'm not mistaken, and yes, it's extremely windy. So we went there for a church event for Bill Winston. He is a very popular, well-known pastor. An amazing pastor. I still listen to him till this day. So obviously my parents were in charge of planning. It's like I was 11 years old, I'm just a minor. And let me just get into the visa process a little bit. Pretty much you need like documentation and whatnot. They need your bank statement. And then once your documentation application gets approved, you have to do an interview. And that interview, at that interview, they pretty much ask you simple, basic questions, but they are definitely like psychologically analyzing you, and they're definitely taking notes. They're just asking basic questions, and they want to see your character and your personality and the type of person you are, and whether or not you are decent enough, a decent person enough to get into their country. And you get interviewed by an American, if I'm not mistaken. So we did the interview went well, and we got a 10-year visa. So from 2012 to 2022. Right. Then let's get into it. So we packed, took our first flights from King Shaka International Airport here at KZN, at KwaZulu-Natal, and then we took our flight to Johannesburg, so to OR Tambo International Airport. From there, we went to London Heathrow with Virgin Atlantic Airways. Emirates was cheap at the time, if I remember correctly, but since mom had a terrible experience with Emirates, we had to use one that was just a tiny bit pricier, which is Virgin Atlantic, but the service was stellar, excellent, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, as well as just touching the soil of London. Even though we weren't allowed outside the airports because we didn't have a visa for London, but the fact that I was within the borders of London, I was ecstatic, like over the moon. Seeing prices written with pounds, hearing the accents of the people who work there, stellar. I got my notes, that's why I'm looking down, just to make sure that I cover everything. So it was a 7-day trip. So the first day when we got there was just settling in, checking into the hotel, settling in, resting, getting ready for the conference. And then I believe the conference was 5 days long, and we had 1 day break. And in that day break, we went sightseeing. So at church, it was an amazing conference, faith-filled, jam-packed with the Word of God, with scriptures and praise and worship and knowledge and wisdom. And we left spiritually, not even revived, like spiritually strong, right? Our faith was very strong. And then on the day of sightseeing, this was one of my favorite days. When we went sightseeing, we went to Chicago, Illinois, into the city, right? Into the central business station, into the CBD. We went to Harpo Studios. If you don't know what Harpo Studio is, that's Oprah Winfrey Studios. So Harpo spelled backwards is Oprah, So it's Oprah, you know how you spell Oprah? Backwards, it's Harpo. We went to her studios. We only went to the security counter because that's where you start, obviously. There isn't like a reception right at the beginning, right in the entrance. And then they said, Uguti, the studios are closed. We're closed that day for people who just want to sightsee and just want to like view and take a tour of the studio, because you can't do like studio tours. But unfortunately, it was closed that day. But we walked around. My mom took a photo of the Harpo sign. It was an amazing time. My mom loves Oprah Winfrey, and I love Oprah Winfrey. So it was just such an amazing moment to know that we are at the same building that Oprah Winfrey has been at and will be at for many times. Apparently our office is there as well at that time. So it was honestly a heartwarming, amazing experience. Unfortunately, in 2012, we still used Blackberries, you know, BIS, all that. So with Blackberries, you know, it comes with terrible photo quality. So I definitely did take a photo or two. But as you know, not as you know, since I was so young, I didn't think of transferring the photos from my Blackberry to the computer or a laptop, you know, and keeping those memories. Unfortunately, all the photos got lost. We did buy like, you know, little trinkets, tokens or whatever, you know, that has like a flag on them and whatnot. But with the moving over the years, all those things went lost, unfortunately. But the memories live on till today. So we also went to Trump Towers, outside Trump Towers. That building is huge and it is so modern and sleek from the outside. Back then, I'm not sure about today. I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not going to say anything about Trump, like politically. That's not what this video is about. But I'm just saying that's one of the places that we saw as well. There was like a little water feature as well. And the people, let's talk about the people of Chicago. The accents, first of all, you know when you like hear them in movies, it's that times 10. So the twang and the pronunciation is that times 10 when you hear it in real life. Personalities are just like you see them in movies and TV. And we were around at the hotel, you know, in the reception, when you see glamorous people, the women are just as beautiful as you see on... Excuse the noise if my neighbor's kids are like outside making noise. Please bear with me, guys. I'll go call Gwen. There's nothing else I can do, but film right now. I don't know if my neighbor babysits or she just has a lot of toddlers, but there's a lot of toddlers, literally. So they like hang out in the passage. Anyways, the ladies that take care of themselves, they are gorgeous, like gorgeous. And since it was like a church conference, they're a bit more on the conservative side, so you get like big hair and you get like tight suits with those tight pencil skirts and the heels. Oh my god, gorgeous. And then they're so expressive, like, you know how expressive and animated they are on TV, they're just like that in real life. Really cool people. When we were at the CBD, at the Central Business Station, we talked to a group of men. I was with my father as well, so it was my mother, my father, and I. We talked to a group of men, and they're like, "What are you guys doing in this part of town?" And we're like, "We're just walking around. We want to see Chicago." And they're like, "Oh, you guys are not from here. Like, we can hear from your accents. Well, this part of town is not safe at all. Well, this part of the city is not safe at all. You shouldn't be here." And we were like, "Oh, we didn't know." And then they asked like where are we from and etc, etc, etc. It was just like, you know, like an introduction, and it was a pleasant experience. And then I think it was lunch break hour, when we were still in the city. And the pace, people are so fast paced, they're walking like this, so fast. You think people are fast in Johannesburg? Oh no, Chicago is 10 times the speed. The people are so focused and zoned in and zoomed in and focused, like they're in, you know, like they know, like AJ, they're not looking left, they're not looking right, they're not looking up, they're not looking down. No one is just like taking their time. They're going like this, bro, and they're focused, and they're wearing their suits, a lot of gray or black, whites, nude, like corporate, bro. Like on another level. It's kind of like they're a little robotic in a sense, but like obviously we only saw people like passing by like seconds at a time, going from A to B, so it's not much personality that you can see. But from what we saw, like people just so zoned in and corporate minded, like focused, bro, focused and professional. And then my favorite part of the hotel experience so we stayed at Hilton Suites Hotel. So Hilton is Paris Hilton's parents, if I'm not mistaken, owns the Hilton hotels worldwide, and Hilton Suites being one of them in Chicago. And then it's Hilton Suites, so every single room is a suite. So it has a kitchenette and a living room and a separate bedroom and a bathroom. Right, it's a suite. My favorite part of the hotel was breakfast. The breakfast buffet in the morning. OMG. Excuse me. Those, like the French toast, that French toast was the best. Till today, the best French toast I've had my entire life. Though I have learned that the way food tastes and like your appetite for food does also work with your mood and how excited or how happy or how good you feel. So that could also be an influence or a reason why the food tasted that good. But the French toast. That French toast was amazing. I had so many slices. I think I had like 4 or 5 slices of French toast for breakfast every morning. And I would still take some upstairs. And people are like, you really love French toast. I'm like, this is the best French toast I've ever had. And like before that, I was only used to like savory French toast, just like French toast with like, toast with like egg. That one was sweet French toast. That was the first time I ever had sweet French toast. And then I also tried Mexican food. For the first time there in America. So spicy. If you think Indian food is hot, Indian food here in Durban, you think Gutsi, it's like hot, like it's peri like spicy. Mexican food, like hot Mexican food, bro. It's hot. Oh no, it's hot because they use like jalapenos and all of this. Like, bro, their food is hot, but it's so delicious, so tasty. We also had Mexican food and and then obviously just like takeout and everything. And it was so interesting to see like McDonald's, like a burger's like $5, like a burger meal's like $5 and stuff, and like $4 and $3 and like $6, and you're like 5, 6, and like obviously it's conversion from rands to dollars is not the same, but still seeing such a tiny figure around with whole meal, it was just it was like a mind trip in a sense, because we're used to seeing a burger meal with like 60 or 70 and 80 90 with a rand R, but like just seeing like a tiny figure was just so interesting to see, and to just like experience that like economy change and economy shift. It was eye-opening, definitely. And then what else? And then the last day was the day when checked out of the hotel and it was time for us to like go back. The flights in total, one from South Africa to London was a 12-hour flight, and then from London to America was 8 hours, so 20 hours up in the air. Time travel is a hectic thing, guys. It's a hectic, time-consuming thing. And what's so funny is that even though you travel for 12 hours, like when you look at the time, because now you're in a different time zone, it doesn't even add up to those 12. Obviously, if you do the math correctly, it does add up to 12. But like if you just look at your clock, it's like you didn't travel for 12 hours, if you just look at the time. But yeah. The environment, clean. Very, very clean. The CBD, like the town in America, in Chicago, so clean. So clean. That is like something out of your wildest imagination in South African standards. Our central business district, our CBDs, the city center, they're so dirty. Like here in Durban, in Johannesburg, I'm not sure about other places, but Durban and Johannesburg, our CBDs are so dirty, filthy. There, it's so clean. So clean. You wouldn't even see a single piece of plastic on the ground. People are disciplined and they know how to take care of the environment. They value the environment. They respect other people. Because, it's kind of disrespectful if you think about it, throwing plastic on the road, because you're leaving that for the next person to see, and you're leaving that to build up, because plastic is not biodegradable. It will be there for years and years and years if no one picks it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's also respecting, not only for yourself, but respecting the next person who goes there, and for yourself when you come back, and respecting your country, your city, loving your country, your city, loving others, loving yourself. It's a whole mindset, really. Littering is a whole mindset, really. Like, there's a lot that goes on for a person to be like, not a lot that goes on, but there's like a whole mentality behind a person who litters and who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So, reflecting on this experience, would I go back? Yes, I would. Oh, and let's talk about the suburbs. So at one point, we got in a cab and we just asked the cab drivers to just drive around Chicago, to the suburban areas and stuff, places that we can't get to on foot. So he drove us around. We drove by suburbs. Oh my gosh, those stately American homes live, like seeing them in real life. Oh my God, it's life changing. Because in South Africa, big houses, even like mansions and stuff, we have walls around our houses, even small houses, even in like lower class areas, like small homes, middle to lower class, even high class homes, we have walls around our houses. There, they don't have walls, around their houses. They can have a fence, but that fence is purely for decorational purposes, because the fence is barely reaches your hip, first of all. And it's a white picket fence, small white picket fence, with like holes, not holes, but like spacing and gaps. So it's not like a fence to keep people out, it's just a fence for the aesthetic, for the look, you know what I'm saying? But the majority of like those houses don't have walls or fences. That's how safe it is. Very different from South Africa. South African homes just couldn't have that. Like, we just don't have that respect for people in different houses, like crime. We have crime, serious crime in South Africa. So that was so different to see, and those houses are so gorgeous. Stately American homes, chef's kiss, so gorgeous, so gorgeous. And then we also went by this area where it's like townhouses, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. So they're like, townhouses, like duplexes, right? So we call them duplexes here in South Africa. And they're on a street and they're all packed together, and they have like face brick, and they have like those small steps that go up to the main entrance door, main entrance. It's kind of like New York City, those places that you see like in New York City, like I think it's like, there's like, I don't know if it's like Manhattan or something, those kind of like houses that are like literally the wall of your house is touching the wall of the next person's house, and it's like a double or triple story. Yeah, so gorgeous. It's something out of a movie, because like most movies are American of it, and it's what else? So gorgeous. It gives autumn vibes, even though it wasn't autumn at that time, if I'm not mistaken. It was cold though, it was windy, but I don't think it was autumn, so it was giving autumn vibes even if it wasn't autumn. So I would definitely go back now that I'm older and stuff, to Chicago, definitely. Restaurants are expensive there though. The restaurants are expensive when you convert it to rands. Sheesh. But yeah, I would definitely go back now that I'm older. I think I'll plan more in detail, because our purpose and priority there was for church. It wasn't to like sightsee or be a tourist and take in like a cultural immersion experience. No, it wasn't really that. So now if I would go, it would definitely be more of a culture immersion, more focused on the foods, going to places where people are more likely to conversate and talk, and just going out and just seeing different places, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like art galleries, movie theaters. I don't even know if they have malls or anything, like maybe a mall, but malls aren't really a culture experience. But obviously the travel agents can like look for certain things that you can do or, and go to that will give you a good feel of the city. So yeah, America is a beautiful place. America's huge. America's huge compared to South Africa. They have a lot of land, like a lot of space. You know what I'm saying? So, so many different places to see. Each city has its own unique vibe and culture and theme, not like theme, but like feel and things that are that characterize that place, that make it unique. You know what I'm saying? So definitely America is creme de la creme. Differences between America and South Africa. So I already touched down on our central business stations. The accents are just so much more, I want to say like up, not like up as in better, but like high energy. Just like talking the way they talk just uses more energy like naturally. But I'm sure it comes naturally to them. But like the way we talk versus the way they talk, we're so much more chilled in how we conversate and like so much more relaxed. They're a lot more high energy when they communicate. You know, that's just how they are naturally. And then food. Their food is definitely less healthier than our food. Their food is sweeter and more buttery and more, you can just like so much more, when I say hearty, more comforting, just like the feel and the taste of their food. You know what I'm saying? And bigger. Portion sizes are a lot bigger. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of things. And people aren't like busy, like okay, I guess maybe in different places people are like walking around and stuff. But in South Africa, you will find someone walking somewhere everywhere. In every city, in every town, there's someone walking somewhere. Excuse me. At Chicago, that's not common. There are places where you won't see a single person walking because they're using their cars to travel and commute. I think that's just a difference in economic standard, you know, because more almost everyone has a car and commutes with cars. Here in South Africa, some people don't have cars, can't afford cars. Walking is common to get to A, B, and C. No matter where you are, you know, you will find someone walking, even if you're in like a high, higher income area, whatever it's called, higher class area. There'll be someone walking because maybe they work there or something. In America, there are places where you won't see a person walking for a fair distance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's warm in here. I closed the window so you guys don't have to hear the noise from outside too much. So yeah, that is about it. That's the differences, and that was my trip overseas to America in the year 2012. And yes, I did talk about it a lot. I did talk about it a lot at school afterwards. That was my anthem. That was my anthem for maybe a solid 2 to 3 years, you know, and then it like died out and fizzled out, and then there was like a point I don't even want to talk about it. It's like such a long time, like, oh my gosh, get a life, like what else do you do with yourself, like why you always talk about one thing, you know? It's obviously like, you know, fizzled out. But I'm like, let me just share an experience that I had and be consistent. So I will see you in the next one. Maybe one day I will do a college vlog, like come with me to college, spend a day with me at college. Maybe I'll do that one day. That will be interesting. And yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope you're enjoying me, loving me. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be loved, be you, and I'll see you in the next video. It's your favorite brown hand, Lungi Gumede, signing out.